So, this is gonna be the new kind of serious. I don't know what it's all gonna be about. I haven't actually made my mind up on or about. I don't know about what I'm going to talk about today, which is amazing. Like, it's always gonna be great. But what I might be trying here to do is just not, well, also talking about self-development and self-help and all these great things, because this is something that I like to talk about, because it is like informative and it is good and it is like, okay, I can just provide value to other people, which is amazing. But it's going to be edited. So it's going to be just rather funny or whatever it's going to be. It's going to be something. The funny thing is that if you say like, okay, this is going to be funny, you know, even if it's in the title. Maybe I'm gonna do this. Maybe this is gonna just be my sarcastic, and if it's even sarcastic, I don't know, but my funny and like weird side. I don't fucking know. Like, thing is, it is relatively dry, you know, sometimes, especially when it is like, I don't know, some books, summary videos, which are great, like they're well done and whatsoever. Like, you know, the thing is, you always just see a hand drawing some shit, but like, they're done. They're greatly done. They're just really great. You know, you can learn just a lot from them. But they often are just, you know, relatively dry and not really like, okay, I want to watch that just because it is fun. It is really like, okay, I want to watch that just because I need the information, but it is actually not that fun. But it is good and great if it is both. And, you know, I'm trying it with the podcast as well, but this is going to be just another approach. I'm just trying new things out, which is amazingly important. Just try fucking shit out. It really is important. Like, how would you know? And this is something that I've been talking about yesterday on the podcast. There's still going to be a podcast, but it's going to be somehow different. It's going to be different and not that long. Maybe 10 minutes less, or, you know, 15 or something. So it's just going to be a little bit shorter so that I do not feel like shit when I'm editing it. Like, I don't know, so fucking overwhelmed. What did I want to say even? What the fuck did I want to say? What the fuck? My mind just got erased out of fucking nowhere. Yeah, you know, we have to try out shit. You know, how would you know that you don't like things if you don't try it out? Exact same thing with trying out food. Like, how would you fucking know if you do not like oysters, which apparently is a thing, as Gary Vee noted that, you know, oysters seem to be a thing that people actually do not like, even though they haven't tried it. So, what the fuck? How could you say that you don't like something if you haven't tried? And it's actually not really only the case for like oysters and food and yeah, you know, it is and should also be the case for, well, your job. It should also be the case for like, okay, what you like to do, what your passion is. Just, I don't know. Like, I've been also talking about like trying out everything on the world, on a planet. It's not gonna work out that well. Just because it's like, yeah, you know, there is a lot of things to do on this fucking planet. Like, it's a lot, you know. It is 195 countries, and there's gonna be just at least one national kind of sport or something, or hobby, whatever it is, if you just kind of view it by that. And then it's just already gonna be like, I don't know, quite a lot of days, you know. But apparently it is a case that if you want to try out every singular national food, then it would only take you, I think, 65 days. Yeah, because it's 195 countries. And if you be like, okay, you're gonna just eat 1 or 3 actually per day, because you have 3 meals a day, like, you know, it depends on what schedule you are. Like, if you're a bodybuilder, you're probably gonna have 6 or 7 or maybe more. Like, yeah, you know, it would take actually 65 days theoretically, you know. In practically, it is impossible. Just because, like, yeah, you know, flying around, well, it could actually be possible. Like, having just countries, or being on the border of 3 countries at the same fucking time, if it is possible. Sometimes it's not. Then actually maybe even have multiple meals. I'm just thinking about Europe, you know, especially Europe and South America, and I think China and or Asia as well. It is not only China, what the fuck. Asia as well, it could be theoretically possible. But yeah, you know, the bottom line there is you just have to try out shit. And this is also what I'm trying to do right here. having something else, having something shorter, still developing the skill of my editing shit, and also developing the skill of talking, still as well, and also having some valuable informations theoretically, but hopefully also practically. So we gotta just try out shit, something that I've been talking about, well, quite often, and just because I think about it, yesterday I've been going through it was an article on Marcus Aurelius, so if you want to watch it, there is a picture or something where you can find the thumbnail, and the link's gonna be down in the description. I'm probably gonna forget it, but never mind. We were talking about some quotes from his book, and they are amazing. They are great, they're really just super duper amazing, whatever. The thing is, these are just, he was writing them like, I don't know, I think he was like, how much old? Something old? If he would just be living right now, he would just be very, very old. Like, yeah. And he's written one book, which is Meditations. And Meditations, actually, it's a pretty good book. I've had a look at a summary, been talking about it yesterday in the podcast a little bit further, a little bit more. So check out the fucking podcast right now. Thank you. The thing is, it is a great book, and there were some quotes, and I've been merely talking about some quotes from the book because this was in the article or on the article. The thing is, he was pointing out shit from thousands of years ago that they were struggling with, it was some wisdom. And the thing is, these things are so fucking applicable to what we struggle with nowadays that it is just insane. And it is just like so fucking, yeah, it is from, I don't know, thousands of years ago, and the people there have struggled with that, and now we still struggle with it. So yeah, that's evolution, I guess. We fucked up. Maybe we haven't. Like, I don't know. Like, the thing is, yeah, it is like interesting. It might be fucked up as well, but it's just really interesting, and I think it is like, it might show us that we haven't evolved so much in terms of ourselves. Like, of course, like society and structures in society may have changed quite a lot, and also, I don't know, some racist shits, thankfully, has also changed a little bit at least, and those things clearly have changed. But the thing is, like, what's going on in our heads and what we're struggling with just seems to not have changed quite a bit. Like, it is insane, As I'm just thinking about it, it might have also been the case, like, just millions of years ago, like caveman shit, It could also have been the case. I don't know. Like, just some thoughts that are on my head. Could have been the case. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, why? Why do we still struggle with this exact same shit? Even though I guess, people have figured it out. People have definitely figured out how to just deal with that, how to live with that, how to just, act accordingly to that. But only some, I assume. Like, maybe only the high achievers, like Marcus Aurelius. Like, he was the fucking emperor, and he just had a fucking big ass motherfucking empire. Like, it's insane. It was insane. And obviously, he just had the money, and he probably had, and not only probably, but he had a lot of education, and like, yeah, it was good for him, he had a good life, until he was killed by his son, I guess. But more on his, as I said, in the podcast from yesterday. You can also listen to that, as well as you might be listening to this now. You can listen to that as well. It's amazing. Would be nice. Thanks very much. The thing is, I do assume also that the high achievers of nowadays generation, like, I'm thinking about Timothy Ferriss. Like, Tim Ferriss, you might know him, you might know his podcast. It is amazing. If you don't know it, his podcast, check it out. Really check it out. The thing is, we still struggle with that. And they have figured it out, maybe just because also they have the money, maybe also they have the time, they have a particular mindset, even though I hate that fucking word somehow. Like, it's got trendy. I've been talking about it before. I think it's because of the trend shit. But well, like, I don't know, we struggle with that, and it might not should be the case maybe it should be the case. Maybe we would just then struggle with something else if it wasn't that. Like, it really is the case. You know, it is actually also like making decisions actually isn't really that of an bad thing, that of an how should I say, like that of a difficult thing in the end. You know, if you think about it, like if you think about it in just a particular way, and this particular way is like, okay, no matter what you're doing, you will never ever know what the alternative was. Never. You will never ever fucking know what the alternative was. That might help you, you know, that might be just a boost in your confidence of making decisions. It could be, you know, probably even. I don't know. It really just is the case, you know. You will never know just what would have happened if you just chose the different option or the other option that you've had. There might have been just something bad happening because of that, or it would have been better, but we will never know. Therefore, thinking about it is just also relatively unnecessary, but I'm just trying to picture something. I'm just trying to point out, okay, because I'm also struggling with that, you know, something that I really struggle with is decision making. I hate making decisions. I hate deciding things. I don't know why, actually. Something that I do just have to work on. But the thing is that it's actually just really like, okay, just take one option. Just make a decision. Like, maybe you throw a fucking dice or something and then decide, you know, through the numbers which options you're gonna take. You could. I don't know if it is just, well, if it makes sense or if it is a good kind of thing to do. I don't fucking know. But you could. You could. You definitely could. So yeah, so like make a decision, something that I hopefully will remember myself on as well. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it really does not matter what I'm doing, you know, because in the end I will never ever know what would have happened instead. So yeah, you know, why do I struggle with the decision making kind of thing? It is like unnecessary. It's like a waste of my energy. It's a waste of my willpower, my power, something. I think that's gonna be it. You know, it is somehow practically, as I'm just seeing it right now. It's just the podcast, so just my thoughts in a shorter version, maybe like in a more funnier version, and then if you wanna just have more, then you go to the actual podcast where I'm then talking about some other shit as well. And like some more shit, and it is basically like maybe a funnel thing. Like, you go into this one, this is like easy to consume, and then you go to the next thing, which is not that easy to consume because it's nothing like edited, and it might not be that easy, I don't fucking know. And then you just go through that, and then you have just all the information, and you're still just having a little bit less information just because I would have been talking about something else in the other podcast episode as well, which is now this one. And this one is like a little bit different now. But yeah, happiness first, I guess, you know, isn't it? Happiness first. Happiness before money, actually. And like attention, like, okay, if I do not have the fucking attention, like, why? Well, it doesn't make any fucking sense. I hope you've gotten something out of it. I hope you've got some information out of this one, especially through all the overlays and all the kind of pictures that I'm having in here. Probably. I hope, at least. I'll actually see you the next time. I really do. I hope, at least. I really hope. Thank you very much. I see you. I love you. Bye. I'm so fucking glad that people are watching.